Hi guys, welcome back. It has been such a busy few weeks. I was kind of hoping to update before this, but time got away from me and here we are. So let's see, first thing that happened a couple weeks ago, I had an appointment with my advisor at my school to talk about upcoming classes, what to sign up for the next semester, and just kind of check in. And as I was talking to her, she said, "Have you applied for graduation yet?" And I said, "No, I still have like a semester and a half." "What do you mean applied for graduation?" She's like, "Oh yeah, you're on track to graduate in the summer," which is apparently what they call it when you graduate at the end of the summer semester. I assumed because the end of the summer semester finished up in like fall, I guess right before fall, like August, that I would graduate in the fall. But nope, she said sign up to graduate this summer. I said, okay. So I applied for graduation. I've got my cap and gown in the mail. Well, coming, hopefully in the mail. So that was an exciting thought. It doesn't seem like it's been long enough that I could have any type of graduation. And because I'm going straight into my doctorate, I don't have to, you never have to walk or go to the commencement, but some people choose not to if they're going to go to the doctorate right afterwards. But you know what? I'm going to celebrate all of these milestones. When I was younger, I didn't walk for my associate degree, even though that was the degree that took me from high school student to nurse professional. But the important thing to me at that point was that I was now a nurse and I could work. It didn't matter if I walked or not. I just wanted to start working. But now I see the value in doing all of the things, taking all of the pictures, going to all of the ceremonies, getting your face out there, shaking hands with people, meeting people, networking. It's important. So I'm going to go to the master's graduation commencement. So that's super exciting. In addition to that, when I talked to my advisor, we were talking about clinical hours, and I told her that this current PMHNP I'm with, who works at an inpatient detox center, she currently counts as my inpatient hours for this semester, but she only works one day a week for like 5 hours at this inpatient detox, and her other job is at PHP IOP that's where I met her in Akron. But as I got experience at the PHP IOP and as I got experience in the inpatient detox area, I realized that it's very similar work, similar medications, similar symptoms that we're treating. So I talked to my advisor and I said, "Hey, have you heard back from this other inpatient place? And do you have any other ideas? Because otherwise, the patients we're treating are very similar, and she will allow me to follow her at her Akron job and her inpatient detox job. And that should be more than enough time to get my hours in for the semester." She said, "You know what? If you think you're seeing critical patients there, if it's similar type work, go ahead and just get all your hours in with this preceptor." So I understand that it's a little bit different than some inpatient sites. I've worked inpatient psych, so I've definitely seen it from the nursing perspective, but I've got to do what I've got to do for my hours, and it is a good experience seeing what I'm seeing at the PHP IOP and the inpatient detox. So that should be good. I think I'll have to do like 3 8s a week to get all my hours in before the end of the semester, which ends on May 2nd, and that's also when the graduation ceremony is. But with my flexible schedule, I should be able to get those hours in. It's going to be busy. I have other assignments to do, but I think it can be done. This week being the exception. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. This week has been very busy. Also, I talked with another PMHNP. She owns her own business. It's private practice. I see her personally because I had some anxiety symptoms after working through COVID in an ICU, and I've just followed with her since. And she just started her own practice. She just took on a partner, and we had kind of talked about maybe her partner taking me on for some hours. But this last time I saw her, she also offered to take me on for some hours. So I essentially have a decent bank of hours in this outpatient private practice clinic run by this PMHNP, which I think would be a very good experience also. So I talked to my advisor about that for next semester, and she said, yeah, go ahead and start the process, start emailing her, getting the agreements in the works. So as long as nothing falls through and everything continues how it's moving, I should have all of my hours for my master's degree accounted for, which is a really good feeling. And I mentioned I'm going to go straight into the DNP, and I had talked with a PMHNP that has his doctorate, and I asked him initially about getting hours in as a PMHNP student seeing psych patients, and he said, well, I really only see psych patients once a week, but I do administrative work the other 4 days a week, and if you need DNP hours, I'd be happy to take you on. So I said, this was before my appointment with my advisor. I said, I talk with my advisor in a couple of days. Let me chat with her and see what time frame we're looking at, and I'll get back to you. And my advisor has worked with this PMHNP before. She sounded very excited about it. So I got back to him. I said, okay, it looks like it'll be spring of 2027. And he got back to me and said, okay, I should be free to take you on as a student. So when it gets a little closer, go ahead and send me the details and we'll get things rolling. So I also have hours for the DNP in motion. So that's a little update on where I'm at with clinicals and my program. Since I've talked to you last, we have had, I think it's National Certified Nurses Day. That was March 19th. And my ICU job put together a very cute board of all of their certified nurses. It has little blurbs about them that we were supposed to fill out, like what made you get your certification, what would you tell somebody who would like to get certified, how did you study, what do you hope to do in the future, blah, blah, blah. And I forgot to fill mine out. So everyone, the unit assistant put together these, I think they're AI caricatures of the certified nurses and little fun facts about them essentially, and then took those blurbs that they wrote and put it under their pictures. So there's a really cute caricature of me with farm animals. And it just says my name and certification CCRN. So I'm going to have to fill out a little sticky note and just slap it on there at some point, maybe. But I went to work the other day. I wasn't there for Certified Nurses Day, but I did work a couple nights ago. And the assistant nurse manager said, I'll be right back. I've got something for you. And in my head, I'm like, oh no, what could this be? Just let me come and do my job and leave. But it ended up being a cute gift for Certified Nurses Day. So she came back with this. It's a cute little insulated nurse tote that says Certified Nurse. And it also has some goodies in it. It was packaged a little better, but I went through everything already. So that's why everything's just kind of stuck in the bottom. But it's a little care package to take care of yourself. We've got a peptide lip tint. We've got a couple eye masks. We've got a lotion, which just looks like a cute little lotion, and then I flipped it, and it's got a cute cow on it. Perfect. And then also some mints and snacks to have on hand at work. So that was pretty cute. That was a cute idea. The other thing that's been keeping me busy this past couple weeks, I signed up for a board prep study guide. I know it's early. I will have the rest of this semester, which is through May 2nd, and then I'll have all of the summer semester, which I don't have the end of it on my calendar, but like I said, I think it ends in August, which means I'll be awaiting my authorization to test, and if it's anything like my associate degree when I had to test and take the NCLEX, it took quite a few weeks. So I am anticipating to test in October, and that's kind of where my goal is. So it's a little early. I think I have just over 200 days with a goal in October, but I figured if I start now, I can take a little bit more information in every day and be confident and prepared when it comes to test day. So I signed up for the Georgette's PMHNP board prep study guide. Now this is a live Zoom video class. So once you sign up, it basically gives you credits, and you use these credits to sign up for the classes you want. It's usually, her classes are offered once or twice a month. So it's been a busy month. The days I had available, I went ahead and booked those classes, but like the very, very first class, I had clinicals that day and there was just no way I could miss the clinicals, so I actually don't take that first class until, I didn't even know it was out so far, until May 12th. And it's a 5.5 hour class, so that must be That must be why I had to put it off, because that would be after the spring semester, and I need to use all the hours I can to complete my clinical time. But everything else I was able to fit in this past week and a half. I like it quite a bit so far. Like I said, it's a Zoom class. She has like a Word document prepared where she highlights some of the important details. You can take screenshots or pictures at certain points. She encourages that. And then just take a lot of notes. And then a lot of what she's teaching is associated with parts of the Purple Book, and she has page numbers listed. So as I go back through my notes, I can see, oh, we talked about this, that's associated with the page, page 50 in here, and I can kind of jump back and forth and study that way. So that has been very helpful so far, and I'm excited to have it halfway through my clinical hours because I can utilize this high yield information while I'm in clinicals. So I think that will be very helpful. I think this is a good time to have signed up for that class. And they're long, like the individual classes. So the first class I said is 5.5 hours because it has like 2 modules in it. The second technical class then is module 3. It was 3 hours or 3.5 hours. Module 4, class 3, module 4, also 3.5 hours. And then there are 5 modules total. The first 2 are put together. So that's 4 classes. And then they have the last minute review, the LMR. Last minute review, LMR. That was 6.5 hours. I just went through that Monday. So 2 days ago. And that had some really good information in it. But it has been time consuming. Plus I've been trying to get in some hours. And my boss in the ICU has been texting me personally to pick up some hours, which I have mixed feelings on. She knows that I'm a student, but also I do still have hour requirements to fulfill. So I want to make sure that if I have the time, if I'm able to, I pick up when I can. So she literally just texted me this morning. She texted me 2 days ago, hey, can you work tonight 7 to 11? Looks like you were trying to pick that up. Well, that ended up being the 6.5 hour study day would have overlapped into the beginning of that shift. So I said, for some reason, it denied me that shift because I had requested it initially. And I said, no, actually, I'm taking this class. It's going to overlap into those hours. So it turns out it was a good thing that those hours were denied. She's like, oh, okay. Well, what about 11 to 7 after the class? I'm going to be awake for hours and hours. I'm not coming in. Plus, I have stuff to do on Tuesday. So I'm sorry, I cannot work 11 to 7. And then she texted me this morning. She said, hey, can you work any hours Friday night? And honestly, I'm quite busy all week. But it's not all terribly important things. Thursday, I plan on getting in 8 hours of clinical time. And Sunday's my birthday. So Friday, I have a couple papers that are due this weekend, in between writing papers and going to Cleveland for a dinner for my birthday. It's going to be tight, but I told her I could pick up 11 to 7. So I should be able to sleep a little bit during the day. I have an appointment, then I have that dinner, and that will take me right into the night shift. And then Saturday, I have a dinner with the rest of my family. So not everyone wants to drive to Cleveland. Like I said, we're from the Canton South area. That's a good hour drive. For a birthday dinner, kind of silly. But my husband and I have been using our birthdays this year for opportunities to try new fun places. So for his birthday, we went to a revolving sushi restaurant in Parma, which is about 45 minutes away from us. And then for my birthday, we're going to go to the Haunted House restaurant in Cleveland. And that's about an hour away. But it's a fun thing that we're not doing huge things for each other's birthdays while I'm in school. So a special dinner at a new restaurant is kind of what we decided on. So then Saturday, we're going to go to a local spot. Cheap, fast, easy, near everybody's house. So I'll have to get a little bit of sleep before dinner on Saturday. And then I have 2 larger assignments due. One is due Saturday at midnight. It is an outline for an IT implementation project, but I have a very good idea of where that's going right now, and I think I'm going to start putting that together today after I'm done filming. And then Sunday at midnight, I have a case study due, which has also, those have come together faster these days. So it's quite a bit of writing, but overall it's not a terrible process. And then I've got 6 discussion replies I'll have to do by Friday night, which again, I can start some today. And that should be that. Next week should start hammering down on the clinical hours now that I have the approval. And finally, something that I've been pretty excited about for a couple weeks. I got an email telling me that I was invited to join the Sigma Theta Tau Honor Society. And initially I didn't know if I wanted to do that. I didn't know if it was something I'd actually utilize. Is it just like a pat on the back? But the more I looked into it, the more it seems like they're actually a very supportive organization that, depending on what you want to do in your future and leadership and research, or they do all kinds of things. It seemed like something worth investing in and having. So last night I went to the induction ceremony, and it was a Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Apparently my family was excited to come support me, so I had like 7 guests come, and they got to see me get inducted and network a little bit. And there was one gentleman for sure from my PMHNP program that I know that I like replied to his discussion posts and stuff. I recognized his name. So I got to meet him in person. And then there was a colleague of mine that I've worked with in the past many times, good friend. He was at my wedding. He got inducted last night also. I think he is finishing his master's in nursing education. So it was very cool seeing him and getting to experience all of that with him. So, here is my little Sigma membership paper, I guess. So this says, Sigma, the Honor Society of Nursing, is honored to welcome you into our network of the world's top nurses who share the commitment to advancing and transforming global healthcare. Induction into the Honor Society recognizes your superior academic achievement, leadership, and dedication to the nursing profession. We congratulate you on your success and look forward to supporting you throughout your career. So that did feel like a good pat on the back. It felt like all of the studying that I've put in has been worth it. So there are a lot of big things ahead. Graduation, more clinical hours, more experiences, more networking, and I'm excited to share it with you and let you know how it goes. And you let me know how you're doing. I know several of you are in PMHNP programs or just nursing programs in general. Let me know how things are going and what you're looking forward to. And good luck to all of you in everything you're doing, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.